What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back, baby. Can we talk about them trifling ass Bellaries? Okay, I'm only dropping episode 9 tonight. I'm so sorry I didn't give it to y'all last night, but I got tired. If you check my story on my Instagram, Q1 underscore J underscore TV, my Instagram, and check my story. I didn't realize I snored, but that's neither here nor there. We are back with season 2, part 2, episode 9 of Beauty in Black, Toxic Vibes. Okay. All right. So let me just recap y'all for a second. So y'all remember the last time Kimmy ran that company. Okay. She came up there and she stood on big business. Okay. Rain almost unalive Jules' son, Glenn, and Charles was getting robbed, and nobody came to see Otis bitch ass, because y'all know I cannot stand Jules. So y'all, the episode picks back up with the robbers. They're still trying to get the Munyons along with they're still trying to get what's his name, Charles's Munyons. Okay, they're trying to take whatever they can get. And Varney, y'all remember Varney was in there because they didn't rob Varney, but they only robbed Charles, which was crazy to me. And Varney was like, "What is your badge number?" And I was like, "Sir, you have a pow pointed to your head and you're asking for a badge number? Shut up." Like, because what you gonna do? Okay, the way the Bellaries be having you shaking like booty meat, sir, please get up out our face. Okay, what are you gonna do? You ain't gonna bust a grape. Anyway, Charles still have those chopped up bodies in his bathroom. Okay. I was like, what is going on? So the robbers get the money, they leave, and Varney at this point is pissed off. "See what you did? Stop bringing them strippers in here. Look at what you caused." And Charles was like, "I know." He was like, "No, you don't know. You don't know what you just did." I was like, oh my God. So Charles was like, "Well, fine. I ain't got to deal with this." And he was just mouthing off, and Varney got tired and left. And so he was like, "So you was just gonna leave me, sir?" You low key told him to leave. If you low key told him to leave, so he did that. But it's your antics that got them that got y'all almost unalived and got y'all in this situation. So there's that. So we get to the next scene. Y'all remember Rain? I told y'all Rain pushed Glenn off the balcony because she thought Sylvie was being raped. Okay, it was not. Sylvie was Sylvie was having sex. Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on here, but anyway, she was dropping it low and spreading it wide. So Rain tell Kimmy what happened. And Kimmy goes to check on Sylvie. But before she checks on Sylvie, she quote her famous line, "Where is my sister?" Okay, where is my sister? So Angel broke ass returns from his shopping spree. I cannot stand him. Kimmy goes up to check on Sylvie, and Sylvie wants to check on Glenn. And Kimmy asks Sylvie what happened. She tells her Glenn was being nice. She kissed Glenn, and one thing led to another. And of course, Kimmy decided to get on her high horse. And Sylvie was like, "Ma'am, I know you're not judging me after everything you have done. Okay, I get that she had to survive and scratch and sniff, good times, yada, yada, yada. I get that. But the fact that you passing judgment on your sister," and let's talk about that. Because when the last episode went off, everybody was calling Sylvie fast and this and that. First of all, young people have feelings. They going to want to experience things. But the problem I'm having with everybody calling Sylvie fast is she was molested as a child. Let's start there. She'd been kidnapped by Body and that other person and whatever the other person is. Glad that they're not here anymore. And she was trafficked. They put her in a club to be trafficked, drug trafficked, and raped. Ran through by random people. They just didn't have her dancing. So I feel like Sylvie was failed by every adult around her, including Kimmy, because Kimmy kept lying until Kimmy had to tell her the truth. And the one thing that happened, Glenn was nice. And she's never experienced people being nice to her. Like, so she's a kid. Like, she's a kid. What she did was wrong. Yes, yeah, whatever. She shouldn't have slept with the boy. But what she also experienced is the only person and probably the only man being nice to her besides Horace. So, which is why she attached herself so fast to Horace. But Horace don't want that because baby, him and his family dynamics are trifling. So anyway, Sylvie wanted to see if she still wanted to see if Glenn is okay, and she tells Kimmy, listen, I don't have to listen to you. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Kimmy was like, girl, whatever. Now the smart mouth and all of that, yeah, no ma'am, no. You know what's going on. You know how, and if she doesn't, I think Kimmy told her how bad these people were. You might want to stay kaput. Okay? So back at the office, Mallory and Olivia. So at this point, everybody's pissed off because Kimmy runs the company now. And they no longer can't run it into the ground as they were doing prior. So Kimmy came along, and now they're pissed, and so now they want to plot and scheme. Yeah. So Mallory too. They both want to plot and scheme to try to get that company back. Baby, no ma'am. So raggedy ass Felicia called Mallory. What you doing? I tell y'all, I cannot stand Felicia. Okay, and I really want to see what Felicia is getting, what she gets in the end, but we'll see. So Felicia called Mallory because she has some tea on Kimmy, and of course, in exchange for the tea, she just want $1,000. I was like, girl, you. Not only do you stay at the Motel 6 where they leave the light open, you is a low budget stripper hole. Okay? Shout out to the strippers. Anyway, I feel like Mallory has completely lost control. She has no control over anything, and I really feel like Mallory's gonna spiral. I only watched episode 1. I started watching some of episode 2. I haven't finished, so I'm gonna go watch it again, and then I'll watch it and then review it and bring out episode 2 and 3. So back we get over to Italy. Okay, y'all, we flew in all the way to Italy, where finance Horace is. Okay, when I tell y'all that man is so fine, let me tell y'all what happened. Nothing happened, but I'm gonna make it big. I'm gonna make it this big. Okay, so he posted something on his Instagram, and I put it. Y'all know how you put it on your story, and a person can go check. So he went on my story to go check what I reposted, and I said, "Oh my God." Okay. Listen. If there is ever you ever ask me the type of man that is beneficial for me, Horace is beneficial. Okay. The older, the silver fox, the in shape, and but that's not what this is about. Anyway, so he's still in Italy getting his cancer treatments, right? Because, he's dying. So Horace wakes up and he's feeling so much better because we found out that the doctors overseas has took the holistic approach. He has to return. Horace is asking if he can go home. So the doctor was like, no, you can't, not right now, because we still need to do some more observations. However, when you do go home, you have to return 3 times a week over the next several months. And he also let him know, hey, you're going to get stronger and stronger. So Horace is just now in a state of belief because I can't believe this. So he was like, am I going to live? And he was like, yeah, it's possible. And so Horace goes out of the window and he was like, I'm going to live. And he just shouted loud. And I was like, first of all, that is great. Okay, I'm happy about that. So then my mood changed. Why? because we went to Roy and Jules. Y'all know I cannot stand Otis' ass. Okay, y'all know I don't like Otis. So of course, they are pissed off, of course, about Kimmy running the company. They realize that they can't touch Kimmy, Rain, Sylvie. I don't know about Angel, but I think Angel. So Jules tells Roy that Horace is overseas getting his treatment, and Jules finds out that his son is in the hospital. So now he's extremely pissed. So he's thinking automatically that they did something to his son. So Alex lets Rain know that Glenn has been taken to the hospital by head security at the Bellary home. And Jules calls Alex and was like, you need to come to the hospital now. I was like, oh my God, I cannot. Angel comes in because he's mad. He don't like Alex. He was like, I don't trust him. He wanted him, and I get it. But if you wouldn't have took your raggedy ass shopping, if you wouldn't have did whatever you wanted to do, you would have been in the loop about everything. But I also understand how he got caught up, how everything happened so far. So in the next scene, Barney goes into his house to find Roy inside of his apartment. At this point, I just feel like, Roy, do you want to sleep with Barney, or do you want Barney to sleep with you? Because that's what I'm getting from you. You a homophobe. You act just like your daddy. But the thing is, your dad likes men, but he's a closeted. I feel like low key, high key, you want the man. You want Barney, okay? You want him bad. You want his vagina, because you be doing way too much for my liking, okay? AKA Malik El DeBarge Wright. If you go back and watch my reviews from the first 8 episodes, even from the first season, that's what I was calling him. So Roy wants Barney to have the will changed so it can look like so it can state, it can be removed that Kimmy, Rain, Sylvie, and I want to say Angel can't be touched, because at this point they want to unalive them and they cannot. So what aggravates me is, as big as Varney is, how you let Roy punk you. Like, if you don't grow some balls, and please tell him to go to hell. Like, but another thing that Roy aggravates me with is he thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room, and I'm pretty sure this is going to fall right on him. And I'm hoping right after Roy left, Barney called Horace, if he's smart about it. Anyway, Mallory wants to head up to the strip club to see if to get with Felicia. Charles walks in, like, still discombobulated from everything that has happened. And Mallory is like, let's go to the strip club. Of course, Charles has hopefully he has learned his lesson, and he declined. So he get up and he left. And she just needs somebody to take her to the strip club. So Charles gets home. He makes it home, call Olivia to come over because those bodies are still in his house, chopped and screwed, okay, in his bathroom. So over at the hospital, Jules finally, gets to the hospital. He want to know what happened to his son. Jules, please, all the grimy shit that you done did to everybody, how you're trafficking people, beating people, threatening people, killing people, getting people killed. Like, you have done a lot of conniving stuff, and you didn't think that somehow karma wasn't going to circle back on you. It may not have circled back on you, but it circled back on your boy. Okay, so I'm not mad at it, but I like Glenn, but I'm not mad at it. So Alex, he's questioning Alex at this point. I love Alex because Alex has this poker face. Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I absolutely don't know what you're talking about. No, they don't know Alex. They don't know Alex is they don't know Glenn is your son. Right. I would never do that to you. I was like, okay. So back at the office, Mallory calls Barney, and he wants her to take her to the strip club. Of course, she has to go meet Felicia, and he takes her up on that offer. So at the Bellary home, Kimmy and Rain have a conversation. She said, you know, she would talk to Varney about the will, and she's also she tells her how she threatened Jules, and they talk about, you know, the situation with Jules' son being in the hospital, and they're hoping that Jules can't touch them, which is why she's going to have a conversation with Varney. But she also says that she's going to have a conversation with Horace. So, Kimmy told her, you know, not to trust anybody, and I think Rain trusts Alex, but, you know, Kimmy is still like, yeah, I don't trust you like that, yada yada yada. And so Rain tells Kimmy that they need to watch Angel too, because he's tripping and he's way too comfortable. And she took it on the chin and went on about her business to go talk to Silk. I mean, wherever she went, but she went about her business. So the dudes who robbed Charles were hired by Olivia, because apparently she's broke and she probably need money, and she wanted to see what Charles had. He only had $40,000. And not only did they rob her, she told him to clean up those bodies, and they cleaned it up for her. I was like, this lady is so conniving. So before that, Olivia arrives at the house. She see the cut up body. She asks Charles, was this his first time? He says yes. She told him to leave so I can handle things. And we also understand, I think I just said it, but that was his first unaliving. He not about that life. He about other stuff, but he not about that life. So Olivia had the dudes that robbed Charles and Barney come back to clean up the bodies, because she hired them to rob Charles. Okay, but they didn't know Barney was going to be there. So he almost was collateral damage. So she was like, well, how much did he get? And she was like, he only had $40,000. And he was like, that's it? When I tell you, she started shaking. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I've seen some things. But we're just going to go by this episode by episode. It was actually pretty good. I'm going to bring y'all 10 and 11 tomorrow this time, for sure. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. I hope y'all like my content. I thank y'all so much. And I will have, again, tomorrow, episodes 10 and 11. And we'll try to see what's happening day by day. Like, day by day, I want to try to bring y'all the rest, the last 8 episodes. So with all of that being said, this is your girl Kiwan, reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.